Okay, if like me, you like to know the how of how things work so that you can more deeply lean into doing it, then this is for you, okay? So here's what I want you to understand. So often we are stuck in a place of fight, flight, freeze, bond, right? We have chronic stress, anxiety, right? Our bodies are just filled with stress hormone, adrenaline, cortisol all the time, right? As you tap, what happens is a signal is sent to your brain to say, you're safe and you can come out of the stress response. And what happens as you come out of that stress response, a whole host of things happen. One of them is that, can you hear that? How rude. It's gone out. One of them is that all of the physical faculties that have been made dormant because they're not a priority start to come back online, right? So as you tap and that signal is sent to your brain, your body moves out of that chronic stress response and into rest and repair mode. And the things that were turned off because they were not deemed critical for your survival in this period of stress are your digestive system, are the growth of your hair and your nails, your skin inflammation reduces, your oil levels are turned down, your body doesn't need to overproduce oil, it doesn't have to be inflamed. All of these parts of your body, all of these processes, they start to turn back on. After people have done a huge amount of tapping with me, sometimes what they'll say is, I'm really, really hungry. Is that normal? And the answer is yes, because your body has turned back on some processes that it had turned off. You'll find that your digestive system just works more smoothly. Okay. The other thing that happens is that your brain, when it's in this stress response, has blinkers on. It turns off the parts of your brain that are not necessary, like creativity and critical thinking. It has turned itself right down to only what it sees in front of you, right? This is how we can get caught in the same loops, these obsessive thoughts, because our brain has chosen this is the thing that I need to constantly think about, and the blinkers go on. You turn off huge amounts of your brain and you keep it at the little animal brain that needs to get away from predators, right? So what happens as you're tapping is you're starting to open up all the other parts of your brain that have been shut down. So the issue that you're addressing, that you have brought into your active brain, is now able to be processed using your creative and your critical faculties and not just your animal brain, right? So you can start to see things from other perspectives. You can start to see your peripheral vision coming back in terms of your thoughts, right? And also sometimes literally your peripheral vision coming back on, right? And so as you're talking, the emotions that you're feeling, instead of being pushed down, are being able to come to the surface, whether it's anger or disappointment or sadness or fear or joy or happiness or whatever it is. They're able to come up, be felt, and therefore be processed. When they come up and are pushed back down, what that does is it sends a signal to deal with that later. But we never deal with it later. And so it just lives in this ever-filling basement, right? So as emotions come up, they act like a wave. Emotions don't go up and up and up and up and up and up forever. And we fear that sometimes, right? We fear that if I allow myself to feel this sadness, I will become more and more sad forever until I die. But no matter what, emotions really can't live for a long time in your body. If you feel them, they go up and they come back down again and they can leave your body, okay? Satisfied. But if you push it down, you can keep it there forever. So as you're tapping and you're talking, what you're doing is you're bringing up, you're activating loads of different parts of your brain, and you're activating old memories, which are able to come up into your active brain and be processed with this more critical view, with a body that is online instead of offline, with all the different parts of you. So your whole team of your mind and your body is online, is activated, and is available to deal with your emotions, to see these problems as they come up and out. And as they come up and they move into your active brain, and they are then touched by all these other parts of your brain, either they can just be de-tagged as not important any longer, and they don't need to go back into your long-term memory, or as they go back into your long-term memory, they are different in that they have been more critically viewed, more creatively viewed. You can change any memory, and you do change any memory every time you bring it into your active experience. But at the moment, what's happening is you're not processing them. You're not bringing all of your mind into this party. And so what happens is you're constantly bringing old memories into your active experience. And instead of seeing them with a better, more rounded view, what you're doing is you are adding more and more and more blinkers to them. So you think about that time that you were called on in class and you looked like an idiot, and it comes up and it makes you more and more fearful and more constricted. And every single time it comes up, you add another layer of fear to it, and it goes back into your long-term memory, and it gets worse and worse and worse. You bring it up into your active memory. We allow it to be opened. We feel that fear. It passes like a wave. All your critical faculties and your creative faculties are able to shimmer over that memory. And then when they go back into your long-term memory, they are different. This fundamentally changes who you are. This fundamentally changes how you see the world. Because if you are caught in a loop of knowing that when you talk up, you're ridiculed, when you ask for something, there's no help there, when you try something, it doesn't work out, there's no point in us pretending that those thoughts and those beliefs don't matter. They do. They run your entire programming. And so when you see people who just act like whatever they do is going to work out, and therefore it does, and you look at those people and you think, why can't I be like that? The answer is you can, right? You can be like that, but it involves you doing this work, right? The emptying out, the changing. It is unbelievably powerful. It is incredibly exciting, and it's really, really easy. And all of this work lives within this resource that you now have. And you're going to work this magic over and over and over again until you're a completely different person. And it really won't take long. And it's really, really easy. And I want to hear from you when you've done it. Deal? Okay. Have fun.